All right, guys. So this next one is honestly one of those stories where you think it's gonna be like some folklore thing, right? Like sitting around a campfire, ghost tales, and everyone, eating s'mores, that kind of situation. But this case literally shows up in the American legal history books because a ghost is credited with solving its own murder. And by all accounts, it's real. So let's go back to 1897. We're in rural West Virginia in a place called GreenBriar County. This is a small, quaint town, quiet community. Everyone knows everybody. And in January of this year, a young woman named Zona Hester Shue is found dead in her home. She's newly married to a man named Erasmus Shue. He goes by Trout. And from the moment her body is found, this dude is acting all kinds of weird. He's the one who finds her, or so he claims, and he doesn't really have a reason why. He's immediately holding her body, crying, rocking back and forth. He's refusing to let anyone touch her and look. Grief makes people act strange, but this was overly possessive. He dresses her himself, he cleans her body. This is not normal for this time or that one, especially for a grieving husband. So at this time, usually a woman would prepare the body just out of respect for the deceased and their family. But he picks this stiff high-neck dress with a giant collar and a veil that goes over her face. This covers her neck and face almost entirely. A local doctor shows up and tries to examine her to find out, cause of death, time of death, that kind of thing. But Erasmus is basically hovering over him, like physically blocking him from being able to do his job. The doctor's trying, and he just thinks, maybe this is a grieving man, or he's not really quite sure what to make of it, but he doesn't want to get involved. So eventually he just writes off her death as childbirth. Even though she was clearly not pregnant, it was just the easiest and frankly the laziest thing that he could write at the time to just kind of move on with his life. So officially that should have been the end of it, but Zona's mother was not giving up. She never quite bought the story. She believed from day one that the husband had killed her daughter. And then this is where the story jumps genres. She starts telling her friends and neighbors that at night she's having these visions of Zona just coming through the wall and looking down on her over her bed, visiting her at night. These are full-on ghost visits and conversations. She says it's not only Zona appearing in her bedroom, but also in the hallway, in the kitchen, coming up and standing in front of the foot of the bed. And she just keeps saying the same thing. He killed me. He broke my neck. The mother claims that the ghost even described exactly how he did it. He just came up behind her and with a rough, quick, violent twisting motion, snapped the first vertebrae and then just dropped the body. Now, normally this is a part of the story where you go, yeah, okay, well, that's clearly the grief talking. But this woman is so persistent and so detailed on all of her accounts, she eventually convinces the sheriff himself to reopen the case. As you can imagine, this is pretty unheard of. So they do what they're told. They exhume the body and they bring her to a secluded place where they can perform a real autopsy away from Trout, the husband. And guess what? Her neck, in fact, is broken, just like the mother said. In fact, it's even in the same place the mother said it would be broken. So, of course, we have to arrest the husband now. And here's the best part. The mother openly testifies in court and openly talks about the ghost visits on a case-by-case basis. Going through every conversation she had, she states specifically, my daughter came to me and told me exactly what happened. And this just being where it's at, the court kind of just lets it happen. They allow it. They don't throw it out. It becomes part of the official trial record. Erasmus, her husband, is found guilty of the murder and sent to prison for life. All while the town is buzzing about this supernatural testimony, and to this day, it's the only case that I can find in US history where the murder is actually solved by the person that was murdered. And matter of fact, it's probably the only one that's solved by the ghost of the woman that was murdered. So even if you don't believe in the paranormal, you have to admit, whether this just be a mother's instincts, visions, grief, psychosis, whatever you want to call it, this led straight to the actual cause of death. And legally, it still stands. What do you think about this case? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. Do you believe it's paranormal? Do you believe the mom just knew something we didn't?